What's up, everybody? Hey, good morning, guys and girls. How's everybody doing this morning? Guys ready to get some anatomy geek out going on, or what? It's go time, man. It's go time. I think before I start, I think we're gonna wait probably a couple minutes, just so everybody can, or give a chance for people to get in. Fizzu, what's going on? Milky Bar, Steph, Three Viper, what's going on, guys? Oh, the hype! Oh my God, the hype! So I think while we're waiting to for some people to jump in, I'm going to show you guys what references that I'm going to be using. And if you want to use those as well, you are more than welcome to. Hey, Sander Fizgen, what's up, buddy? So what I'm going to be using are these images. These are from Raffaele Grassetti. Awesome artist over at character artist, the lead character artist over at Sony Santa Monica. These are available on his website at grassettiart.com. Yeah, man. Gabriel, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Yay, Marcellus Wallace in the house. What's going on, man? So yeah, you can take a look at. Well, that's not. Yeah, cool. Thanks for putting it right there, Grassetti. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so grassettiart.com. That's these are the main ones that I'm going to be using, but I'm going to go through and do like Google searches and everything like that, kind of on the fly, and I'll show you as I'm searching what I'm looking for and that kind of stuff. So you can do the searches right alongside me, basically. So yeah, let's do this real quick. Let's just go to Grassetti Art. I think it's Grassetti? Two S's? I think it's two S's. Two S's. Two T's. We'll see. GrassettiArt.com. Hey, there he is. So if you want to just go to this dude here, you can grab these guys. So these are the main images that I'm going to be working from and probably talking about. But we're just going to focus on the arms, the back, and the front. We're not going to be talking about hands or legs or the head. So we'll just focus on that area for this particular session. So that's where you can go get those images. Alright, just going to pull these off to the side. Alright. And then hopefully we'll come up with something, you know, maybe not so crazy as this, maybe a little bit more like kind of mundane and not so kind of over the top. Because the basic idea is you want to like nail down your knowledge first. Once you have your knowledge, then you can go through and kind of push that in different directions in more realistic ways. So let's just start. Let's just start a new document. No, oh my God. Alright. And we're going to start from a sphere. Okay. So, are you guys ready? I think we should just start. What do you guys think? Kind of missing the music, but I'm recording this, so well, we'll have to do without the music. I'll try not to sing either. Alright, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? I think I'm ready. Let's get this rolling. So usually what I do to start out is I usually will, just to get like, so when I'm blocking out a shape, I want to be able to see a silhouette of a shape, right? And it really helps me to do to have images behind ZBrush, and then I use my see-through to kind of use that as almost like tracing paper, right? It helps out a ton. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to set up 2 images. Maybe this guy and this guy. Let's make sure they're about the same size. One more, there we go. Okay. And then off to the side, I usually use some like 3/4 and stuff just to get my own, give my own. All right. All right. So now if I use see-through, I'm gonna have something to kind of form it to, right? All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. So the brushes that I use mostly just for blocking out. If you look down here, I use Move Topological, but you can use the Move brush. Either one of these Move brushes will work fine. Clay buildup is usually what I use for most of my sculpting. I use Move for pushing around, and then I'll use Damn Standard. Or if you want, you could use Orb Cracks. I usually use that for kind of like drawing in different shapes and stuff, getting definition between muscles. All right, so those are pretty much the 3 or 4 brushes that I'm going to be using. If you're wondering which brushes I'm using, you can always, so I usually have these on quick keys. So you could say, if you're wondering which one I'm on, you can always just kind of look down here and see which one I'm on. I think you can see that over the, no, you can't really, never mind, you can't see that over the overlay. Alright, forget that. Alright. Oh, you could see here. Alright. Oh, thanks, man. If you put in exclamation point portfolio into the chat, you'll get a couple links to my portfolio. But thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, we want to make sure that we're working in symmetry. So I'm going to make sure I have my symmetry on. And let's just do make polymesh 3D here. I'm going to turn on my polyframe just to see what we're working with. And then I'm always going to be working in Dynamesh pretty much. This whole time we're going to be working in Dynamesh. So Dynamesh is in geometry, Dynamesh. But I have all of this stuff up here in my custom menu, so I'm going to be using it here. So anytime I'm messing with anything up here, you can always go down to the geometry and do the same thing down here. Alright, let's just start off with maybe 64. I like to go in those increments, 64, 128, 256, 512, and so on. Alright, that's enough to start. Hey, the Rorty. What's up, buddy? How are you, man? Just in time, dude. I'm gonna do some anatomy sculpting. And coffee drinking. And no music listening. That's what we're in for. Okay. So I'm just gonna like start pushing and pulling some stuff to get the ideas of what we want. Alright, so basically, I'm just going to create the torso shape. I'm not going to go into like the skeleton. I'm just going to be doing this basic shape here. Right, so the basic shape of the rib cage is what I'm going to go for, and then we'll kind of build out from there. Yeah, man, busy, full-time the man and streaming. Yes, you are. Okay, so I'm gonna build out that ribcage shape. And we'll just kind of go from there. Right, it's really important to know what's going on underneath all the muscles. Oh, the smooth brush, that's the other one. and I think that this may be too much resolution to start with. So I'm going to actually knock that back down to 32. There we go. That's better. So I always want to make sure that at the very beginning it's low as possible. The Dynamesh as low as possible. That way I can really come in here and smooth things out a lot easier and move things around easier. Caps lock. Watch out for that caps lock, man. It's dangerous. Okay. Alright, just quick shape. It's almost like an egg shape, right? If you look at the rib cage, it's almost egg shape. Alright, there we just come in here, like that. Boom. Okay, we got a rib cage. Cool, cool. And then from there, alright, we're just going to build up the torso. Right, so now I know like about the size and about the shape of what that rib cage is going to be doing. So let's just create the whole torso here. Okay, I'm going to bring out the shoulders. Right, so this whole shape here is what I'm going to be focusing on now. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Alright, so I gotta focus on the silhouette first, and then I'll turn it around and do the sides and the back. Alright, so pull that down. Again, I'm not really worried about the geometry at all. Hey, Haxidose, how you doing? Okay, and I'm also not worried about being exact yet. I'm just getting the overall shape. Okay. So that's the overall base of the front. And then let's just make sure that we have a good volume here for... Right, so you have the neck that comes up here. You usually have kind of a bulge for the back. You got like this nice S-curve that comes in. Oh, hey, thanks, Ruben. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man, this is awesome. Like I absolutely love anatomy, so it's almost just a pleasure for me to be able to kind of do some of this stuff for you guys. Okay. Right, so now that I've got like a basic shape here, right? So like from the side, hey Dan Bullock, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? So let's take a look at a... Do we have a profile on this guy? I don't think it's a profile one. Alright, I'm gonna pull up a good profile image here. These I got a while back. I don't remember exactly where I got them, so you have to forgive me. But it was like years and years and years and years ago. Let's do one more. Yeah, man, Dan, I'm glad you made it, buddy. Glad you made it, man. Hopefully Twitch doesn't get all stupid about male appendages here. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just go something like that. But anyways, I wanted to look specifically at the profile, right? So you have this like nice S-curve where the shoulder blades come out, the lower back kind of comes in, and then the buttocks kind of comes out. So we're going to be cutting off like about here. So the bottom should flare out a little bit, right? So anyways, we get that nice S-curve where the neck comes in, shoulder blades into the lower back, and then up to the gluteus. Gluteus maximus. Okay. Dota, what's up, buddy? Hey, Ruben, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, dude, Dan, your emojicons thingamajigs are freaking hilarious, man. All right, so we'll refine this, but basically what I want to do is I want to just kind of get that S curve in there to start. Hey, what's up, Rexzilla? But we'll refine it as we go, right? Okay. And then we got the little bit of a flare out there. Cool. Now what I want to do is I want to just pull out some arms. So what I'm going to do first is going to redynamesh. Okay. And then usually what I do, there's a couple of different ways that I do it, but most of the time I'll just mask an area where the shoulders are. Flip that mask and then just use my move to pull out the arms. Right, and it's going to be super nasty pulling them out at first. But we're going to get into it. Alright, so I'm just going to redynamesh real quick. And usually I sculpt in like an A pose, because most of the time when you do that, the majority of the muscles are in as close to resting pose as possible. And then what I'll do is I'll bend the elbow just a little bit for pretty much the same reason, right? So the important things to note when you're doing the overall block end of the arms are proportions, right? Proportions, proportions, proportions. So if you swing your arm down, your elbow should hit the bottom of your rib cage, right? So I'm just going to use my dam standard to put in a couple of landmarks, right? So here's the bottom of the rib cage. Rib cage comes up like this. All right, and then you get into more of the muscles down here and the abs and stuff. But this is about where you want the elbow to be if it swung down, right? So we could say the elbow is probably right about there. And if you really want to get into the rest of the forearm, it's usually about half from the shoulder to the wrist. But if you want to get into the proportions, the elbow, the back of the elbow, the radius, I believe it is, that it becomes the elbow. That will swing down and hit just about to the bottom of the rib cage, and the wrist will come down and hit your greater trochanter, which is like the outside of your hip bone here. So let's see, yeah, and then your hand, if the fingers are stretched out, will usually come down to about halfway down your thigh. So that's always good when you're blocking out arms. Is just keep those proportions in mind, right? So elbow joint is to the bottom of the rib cage, and wrist is usually down to the greater trochanter, which is in this particular case probably down here. Yeah, Grissetti stuff is dope, man, for sure. Okay, so then usually what I'll do is I'll just mask off this portion here. Blur that a couple of times on both sides. Oops. And then just hit rotate here. Basically something like that. Maybe up a little bit. So it looks like he's like putting his arms forward like this. So what I'm going to do is instead is just kind of rotate everything back a little bit. So I'm going to rotate his shoulders back. And to do that, So many big words. Yeah. Yes, so many big words. Alright, so I'm just going to rotate his shoulders back like this, and then just pull them back. Right? Maybe not so much. Come at me, bro stance. Totally. Yes, I'm using Quadro for my reference images. Alright, so maybe not so much. Maybe just rotate it back just a little bit less. And then pull it back this way here. Okay. Now we got that pretty much blocked out. Usually back now that I get to this phase where I've kind of got everything kind of just laid in and I got some room to work with, I'll just start working on some actual anatomy. Usually I'll start blocking in where muscles go. It's like a naked chicken. Yeah, he does look like a naked chicken right now. Yeah, I'm using Quadro. Yep. So I usually will just block in where anatomy is going to be laid in, kind of muscle by muscle, and then I'll work on proportions as I see that I need for this for whatever particular body that I'm working on. Right. Adam Shake, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the follow, man. Much appreciated. Okay. So I feel like so here's the thing that I'm looking at now, which is sticking out, is the overall shape of the back, right? So right now it's kind of very just straight up and down, and I really want to make sure that I have this kind of nice V shape, right? So I'm just gonna make some sweeping changes here. Make sure that those lats come out a little bit further this way, and I'll pull the waist in just a little bit. Okay, there we go. That looks better. All right. So now, you know, there's a couple of different ways to approach anatomy, right? Some people will just create the bone structure and then literally place bones on top of it. I think that takes a little bit too long. And other people will do a little bit something more like this, where they just pull out volume. The only issue with this is that you kind of have to know where the muscles go and what to like take away and what to add on. So usually what I do is this style. I don't really take too much to the building up from a skeleton. Alright, so let's talk about muscles. Let's talk about muscles, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Alright, so that's what happens when you don't get any music. Okay, well let's map out the front first, and then we'll map the arms, and then we'll map the back. Alright, so let's use Orbs Crack. What the hell? No, we'll use Damn Standard. Okay, so I usually will start with the landmarks. Actually, you know what? I'm going to create a quick head out of this, because the shape and size of the head... Cassetti, what's up, man? Thank you very much for the follow. The size of the head really dictates the size of everything else. So I'm just going to create just the shape real quick. So I'm going to pull this guy up. Right, it's not going to be anything crazy. I'm just getting the overall shape of a quick head. Don't worry, it always looks like crap until the end. Always looks like crap until you're done. And then you have that one moment where you're like, oh wait, it doesn't look like crap anymore. Awesome. Alright, reDynamesh. Let's smooth this out real quick. Alright, I'm not really focused on the overall shape of the head. I just want basically the size. Yeah, Redynamesh will. So basically, here's Redynamesh. All right. So if you look look at your polyframes, and let's say you pull something out, right? So basically, you want to add more like that. If you Redynamesh, basically it just remeshes everything to give you. Now you can do, you know, even crazier stuff, and then Redynamesh, and then do even crazier stuff. So it's just how to kind of really get big shapes and kind of move things around without worrying about the topology. So yes, that's what Redynamesh is. Alright, let's pull this back. Alright, we want to make sure we have that nice S-curve, right? So here's the shoulder blades, the lower back, and then the flare out for the gluteus maximus. Alright, so basically what you want to do is you want to know, so the average human male body is 7.5 heads tall. Alright, so it's really tough to get proportions down if you don't have a head to start off with. The superhero male is an average of 8 heads tall. Right now I have perspective turned off, but I should probably have it on. So you can probably just do it with perspective on or off. I would probably say you should work with perspective on. So thanks for reminding me. Okay. So let's look at the size here. Let's just make sure we got that we're in the ballpark. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So let's take this guy and move him down. Let's take this guy and move him down. So it's all about proportions and reference, right? And let's keep him over here. Yeah, Pixelogic is usually $7.95. Okay, so obviously my head is way too big up there. So the rest of everything kind of looks okay. Let's. Oh, that's actually okay. It's almost the right exact size. Look at that. Wow! I've done this a couple of times. Okay, so that's about the right size, right? We got the chin to the top of the head, right? That's our one head, right? And we've got the basic shape of the torso. And I think that maybe the arm can come out just a little bit more. So I'm just going to grab the arms and bring them out just a touch more. That's about right. Maybe the elbows can come down a little bit. Alright, now we're ready. Alright, so usually what I do is for a full body, what I would do is I would literally just cut this head off, bring it over here, and duplicate it down 7 times or 7.5 times, and then I would have all my landmarks. Actually, see what I'm going to do that right now. You don't really need to do it for the torso because you only have like basically 2 landmarks that you're going to need, or 3 for the bottom. Yeah, I don't really use Z-spheres for anything anymore. Z-spheres was really good for before Dynamesh. So Dynamesh really, for me, completely replaced Z-spheres. Just because I like the flow of being able to pull something out, re-Dynamesh it, and then just sculpt it real quick. I think that's much quicker way of doing it for me than you know, going back and forth between Z-spheres and like mapping it and skinning it and all that fun stuff. Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Alright, so usually what I'll do is to just duplicate the head, I'll just duplicate the whole piece. Let's turn one of these off. And then I'll use my trim curve tool. And then I'll literally just cut the rest of the body off. Alright, so let's turn that one off. Alright, so I literally just have the head here, and maybe I'll just do that so it doesn't get confusing. So you want to go from the very top of the head when you're looking at this in profile. You want to go from the very top of the head to the bottom of the chin. That's the size of your head. Okay. So then what I'll do is, with this one, I could literally just move him over like this. And then I can duplicate him down. So what I just did basically is I'm in one subtool. If I have the move tool selected, I'm just going to hold down shift and draw straight up. That will give me exactly up and down for my transpose. And then if I hold control and shift and grab the middle piece and move it down, it will actually duplicate it and move it just along that that axis of the transpose tool. So then I'll just go down and grab another one just like that, right? And then I'll duplicate it again, so shift, control shift, grab this again, and it automatically, see, look, it automatically masks. It automatically masks the other thing, the other tools within that subtool. Hey guys, all right. Sorry, I haven't been chat's going a little bit crazy right now. So I hopefully if you guys have a question, like a specific question you'd like me to address, just man, my voice is going today. Just type in question in caps and then dash whatever your question is. That way it can pull it out real quick, and Marcelo can help me with actual questions, right? Hey, Turn, what's up, man? Okay, so that's that's 3 heads there, and one more just for good measure. Again, shift control, drag down. Right, so now I have exactly where my landmarks would be for when I'm doing my 7.5 or 8 heads tall. All right. All right, let's go back to this guy, and I'm going to put my landmarks, right? So the bottom of the chin. The next one goes to the sternum. So the sternum should be here. And then the navel is here. And the bottom of this chin here will be the bottom of the pelvis. All right, so if we're looking here, it will be like the bottom of the pelvis. Usually right around here. All right, we don't have the pelvis, so it's again that last mark is going to be just off our mark here. All right, so now I have places to start blocking in my anatomy. So this is pretty much what I do every time, whether I actually do it or yes, you can press 1 for the last action. Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Gabriel. I usually will do this when I'm blocking out. But I've done this enough times that I don't necessarily need to reduplicate everything. I'm just kind of showing you guys ways that you can do it to get these particular landmarks in the location that they need to be. Okay, let's just start blocking in Let's start blocking in actual anatomy. Okay, so pectoralis muscle. Let's start there. Let me bring... Okay, pectoralis, right? Actually, you know what? We should put in the clavicles first. That's usually the best because a lot of things pertain to where the clavicles are, especially the deltoids and the pec. So, just above the sternum, right? About 2/3 of the way between or about 1/3 of the way between the chin and the sternum, are where the clavicles hit the neck area. So, I'm just going to use my clay brush at this point. And again, like all of this is not the proportions and everything are not correct. But we'll go in after we map in the muscles. We'll be able to go in and change the proportions as we need to. You'll obviously see like this guy has like no neck. Actually, let's fix that first. This guy has no neck. That's not good. Because this may end up changing the proportions. As long as I don't change where this chin is or where the top of this head is, my proportions will stay the same. I think his... Yeah, there we go. I think his gut was coming out a little bit too much here. There we go. That's better. Big old bubble butt there. Okay, that's a little bit better. All right, clavicle. Clavicle is going to come in about here, and we'll end up about here, right? If you look at where it sits, you actually see the separation between the trapezius on the back and the deltoid. We'll almost see the clavicle hanging out at the edge in the silhouette. So literally we'll come up to about there, and it does this nice little S curve, right? You got, again, this is just mapping it in, right? We got it, so it flares back and then forward. All right, there's my clavicle. All right, sternum is down here. Rib cage comes like this. Okay, so then now let's put in the pectoralis. All right, so the pectorals are divided down the middle. How do you restore views in ZAppLink? Do you find that useful when sculpting? Yes, definitely. More for like rotations though. You can do like front or back. So basically in if you go to document ZAppLink properties, you can set up like an actual character sheet here. So you have front, back, top, bottom, right, left, custom views, and then you can save and load these views. So basically what you can do is you can say, well, I want front to be here. It's basically an orientation thing. It's not necessarily a location. Right, so I want that to be front. And this one to be back. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Okay, this one is back. So basically what it does is it keeps it in that same location and just flips it 90 degrees. All right, so now what I can do is really quickly just go from I'm on front, and I can go to back and front. It'll just flip it real quick. And then if I want to create like a 3D, I mean a 3/4 shot, I could just do like a custom. Right, so I could do front, back, 3/4. So that's what the ZApp link will do. It'll help you with. Okay. Yep, absolutely. I'm just going to shave down this arm real quick because it's kind of getting in the way. Let's do a couple quick fixes here. I use the inflate tool, or the inflate brush, just to kind of bump this up a little bit here. Again, I'm not worried about anatomy at this point for the arm. I just want the overall volume so it's not so distracting. Okay, so reDynamesh. Okay. So the pectoralis divides here, comes down just above the sternum here, and then up into the armpit area, right? So it makes like this almost almost a square, right? And again, every body is a little bit different, so it depends. You know, if you're going off a reference, it doesn't have to be exactly like that particular reference. So usually what I like to do when I'm mapping out muscles is I like to get the overall flow of how the muscles move, right? And what their connection points are on both ends. So for this particular one, we have the pectoralis major and the pectoralis minor, right? So basically you have one clump of the pectoralis that goes from the sternum area underneath the arm, basically, and connects back there. And then the pectoralis minor, I believe, is this button. I may have that flipped. This may be major. Might be minor. I'm not sure. But these will connect to the clavicle and the sternum, and then it comes down and goes right in line with your deltoid. Okay. So basically, what these do, right? It's going to come here. All right, and then your what stage should you consider retopologizing your sculpt? Not until way later, man. Not until way later. Not until you have everything pretty much happy with the overall shape and form. All right, so this major will come down like this, right? And it connects to your clavicle, right? All the way up to where your deltoid hits, right? So let's put in the deltoid. So the deltoid's usually about where the clavicle starts turning back is where your deltoid starts. So it literally holds on to that clavicle, right? You can see here. So the deltoid will come in and attach to the end of the clavicle. So usually I'll come in and create the deltoid. So that's a map out of the deltoid. We'll just go ahead and create the overall shape of the deltoid here. So deltoid is basically your shoulder, your outer shoulder muscle. Okay, so the pecs come in like this, right? We get minor here, and again, I'm just mapping in where the muscles are. I'm not worried about the overall shape of the muscles yet. I'm just mapping in where they are. Okay. So then from there we'll see, let's go down more, right? Usually you'll see a separation between the bottom of the pectoralis and the beginning of the abs. All right, so usually we'll have some kind of separation here usually. All right, sternum is here. All right, and then you have the abs 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 pack, 7, actually 2 pack, 4 pack, 6 pack, 8 pack, and so on, right? Just mapping that in, right? And then the rib cage comes down like this, and then you've got the rib cage that comes back down like this. All right, so let's talk about the serratus muscles, or the Batman muscles. Actually, we'll talk about that when we do the lats on the back. So right now, I'm just going to do something like this, which will indicate the serratus muscles here. So I think this one shows a little bit better. Oh, where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, there it is. Right. So basically, you have just kind of in between your rib cage here and coming down in this nice arc. Right. That's what I'm looking at right now. All right. So we have this nice arc that comes back like this. So we'll get into like the definition and stuff, and it looks like it could come back a little bit further. Maybe like that. Okay. And then the abs come down like this. And then you'll have your, I always forget what this ab muscle is called. Not your gluteus, not your lats. Shit, you guys got me. Damn it. Anyways, the side muscle. That's it. It's called the side muscle. Oblique, yes, thank you. Phil comes in with the oblique. Yeah, so the obliques will come in like this. We'll take up that particular area, right? So that's basically the torso. We'll just go ahead and map in the sternocleidomastoids here from the ear. These sternocleidomastoids come down from the ear and connect to the clavicle here. Like so. Alright, so that's the basic map out of the front. Let's do the arms. So you've got the bicep. Bicep will come in here, and it will be right on the underside of the deltoid. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, buddy. Alright, so we'll come in like that. Alright, so from the underside of the arm, the bicep and the tricep are usually about half, right? So if you look at weightlifters and you see like the bottom of the arm, it's usually like divided down about down the middle, and that's with the bicep and the tricep from the back. I was wondering, do you use subdivision once you have got your Dynamesh to a point where you then you retopologize it? Depends. So he's talking about do I use subdividing or do I use Dynamesh? Usually for projects like this, I don't really want to rely too much on technical stuff, so I usually will just take it and, I mean, if it's just practice, I'll just use Dynamesh the whole way, and then take it up to, you know, I may get all the way up into 2048 or even 4096. So usually for just practicing like this, I'll just use Dynamesh the whole way. Okay, so now we got the front, we got half the arm. Let's continue mapping this out. All right, the deltoid comes back like this. All right, let's look at, we got to put in the scapula now, right? So basically everything revolves around bones, right? So when you're mapping muscle, you have to know where the bones are. So let's look at the scapula real quick, because the deltoid will also, so the deltoid wraps around the whole arm, connects in the front to the clavicle, and in the back it will connect to the scapula. I think that's a good one. Yeah, let's do these right here. Right, you can actually see the scapula here pretty good. Okay, that's good. Now you know why I use Grassetti's stuff a lot. Incredibly amazing images. Alright, so the clavicle, the scapula, you can think of it as a triangle basically. So, alright, so we got the spine that comes down, like so. And the scapula will basically be a triangle similar to this. Right, and then you got the spine of the scapula that comes out like that. Okay. So, now that we know about where the scapula is, we can wrap the deltoid around to, let's see, where does it connect? It connects to the spine of the scapula, right? So let's look at the, let's actually look at what a scapula actually looks like. Scapula. There we go. So this is the scapula. No! F you. Okay, so it has this basic triangle feel, but then it has this spine that goes up the middle. Well, about say the top third or top quarter, and that's where a lot of the muscles will connect to, is this spine, and then the rest of this spine down here. Right. So when you say the spine of the scapula, it's this piece that comes out. Get another look at that. Alright, this is the inside, this is the outside, right? So you got the spine that comes up like this. If you're looking at the side, this is the spine. See if we get it better. Right. Okay. Got it. So that's the spine of the scapula is very important for when you're marking down muscles, right? So the spine will come up like this. This is the scapula here. Spine will come this way. Now I know where that deltoid is going to connect, right? Okay. The point of the deltoid usually will come into about the middle of the arm from the front to the back. So somewhere around here. Let's go ahead and map out where the ulna is. Here's the radius. Radius is on the outside. Ulna is usually the elbow piece. So let's just, usually what I do is I'll just create something like that, about where the elbow should be. Right, again, this is, if we bring this down, it's going to be around where the bottom of the rib cage is. So I think this this is a little bit too far down. Okay, there we go. So about there. Alright, so then the tricep. Tricep ducks in underneath the deltoid. Comes down like this. So you're going to have another set of small muscles in the center of the arm here. So it's going to come down something like this. Right? These are the brachius muscles in here. That's this particular one. Alright, so and then as you said earlier, the bottom of the tricep will come in and bisect the underside about halfway through. And it looks like this needs to come down here a little bit further. Say about here. Okay, tricep. Um, let's see if we got. All right, here's what the tricep does. Right, so you've got this long tendon that goes. It's almost halfway between your deltoid and the elbow, and the tricep is built into like this. Um, this part of the muscle, you got one major one that comes here, and then another one that comes on the bottom side here. Hence the tricep. All right, so about halfway down, that's where the triceps start. And you get this type of feel to it, right? And then usually I'll just... Okay, that's tricep. So again, I usually block this stuff out pretty quickly, so it's taking a little bit longer because I'm talking to you guys through it. Okay, so let's talk about the forearm really quickly. Usually with the forearm, I will break it into like just 2 or 3 main parts, because there's way too many small muscles in the forearm to get every single one of them. So I will do the basically the contractors and the extensors, right? So the extensors are these muscles up here, which help you like bring your hand like this, right? So that's all these muscles that sit on top. So these are the extensors. So you're extending your hand like this, and then your contractors are all this muscle down here, right? So it helps you contract your fist or your hands like this, right? So I usually will break up the forearm and just into those basic two. Yeah, good, man. That makes me feel good. All right, so the extensors will actually come up and connect up to the into the upper arm. Let's see if I can grab a good view of that. You can see it a little bit here. Basically what happens is, oh, here we go. This is perfect. Right, so the extensors kind of come down and wrap around to the inside of your wrist here. But what they do is they actually connect to the humerus up here. Right, so the humerus, let's see if I can grab the image of the humerus. Not really. That's okay. So we have this nice bifurcation of the tricep and the bicep by the extensors of the forearm that actually connect up into the upper arm. Right? So that's these ones here. Right? And they come down like this. Right? We got this nice twisting action of the extensors that come down in there. Okay? And now everybody knows like this weird like little thing that nobody really knows that happens, where you have like the one line and then it like kind of comes like this, right? You're like, oh man, how does that actually work, right? Yeah, it helps with the twisting of the hand. Yep, absolutely. So basically what that is you've got this extensor group that comes and twists around this way. And let's mark the wrist really quickly so we know the orientation of the hand at least. Okay, so your hand's down basically, right? So your hand is going to be down like this. So you see all the extensors actually come down like that. Did you get that? Alright, so that's the bulk of those, and then the contractors will be all down here basically, right? I mean, just think about like where the overall muscle shapes are and where they need to come from physically, right? Like if you're going to contract your hand, like this down here has to, you know, contract. Like you can't contract with this up here. When you contract with this up here, it extends your hand basically, right? So just think about where muscles pull from when they're actually doing something to your body, right? And then there's usually like a little recess of shape here. I'm just going to smooth this stuff out here. It's getting a little chunky. All right, we got to get rolling. It's already 7 o'clock. Okay. Okay, so we got to do the back, and then we got to do everything else. Okay, so extensors. I mean, the contractors are down here. Let's take a look at RAF stuff. Right, so you got the bicep that comes down and like almost goes into a V formation in between the extensors and the contractors down here. Right, so if you look at the overall silhouette of the forearm, most of it, like the wrist is like really thin down here, right? And about halfway between your elbow and your wrist is where a lot of the bulk starts, right? So a lot of times in your anatomy, you notice that you have like this almost alternating curve pattern to almost everything in anatomy. So it's never. Let's see if I can do. Thanks, man. Oh yeah, ambient. Yeah, you can grab these images from GrassettiArt.com. Hey Marcelo, if you can you throw that GrassettiArt.com link up into the chat for anybody who wasn't here earlier? So you have these alternating curve patterns, right? So let's see. I think it's probably easier to show you this in some reference. So let's look at this guy for a second. Actually, you know what? It's better. Yeah, now this is fine. So basically what happens is if you look at the silhouette of muscles, it's never really like, oh, you've got one exact curve and then the other exact curve on the other side of the silhouette. You've always got some kind of alternating curve pattern on each side, right? You can see it mostly in the like in the legs. You know what? This one actually isn't. It's a decent, but so you can see like this side of the calf muscles, right? You've got one curve here and then another slight curve here, right? Thanks, right? And then for the thigh, right, you've got this smaller curve, and then you've got a large curve that comes down a little bit further, right? So it's like alternating between, you know what, might just be easier. Let me launch Photoshop real quick. It's easier to just draw it on here. Hold tight for a second, guys. Sure. Go. Okay. So instead of what I was talking about was instead of having curves that come like this, right, that are equal on both sides, what it does is instead it comes down more like this, right? So you got alternating, they're offset, right? And this is mostly in your silhouettes, right? So if you're looking at like the legs or the arms, what happens is you get like this really nice offset curves, right? So it's not anytime that you look at anatomy and you see this where it's like equal curves on both sides, you can tell right away that it doesn't look right, right? So if you look at the body, look really closely, it has like these alternating curve lengths. Yeah, thank you very much, Milky. So we can see that almost all over the place in the body, right? Whether it's here in the legs, right? You got this one curve and then this larger curve that comes down a little bit further. Small curve, larger curve, that kind of thing. You can really see it in... Let's see if I can grab his... Yeah, here we go. Right, so the same thing here, right? So you've got, instead of you know, equal curves on both sides, right? You've got one curve that comes here like this, and this curve comes all the way down here like this, and then you've got another small little one, right? And then you've got a large curve here, and then a small curve, right? So it's like that for the forearm too, right? So if we're looking at the forearm, you've got this large curve that comes here, right? And then you got a smaller one that comes in here, right? So that you'll find those kind of rhythms literally all over the body. It just helps with like the overall smoothness of how everything kind of folds into each other. So keep that in mind when you're doing like silhouette. Okay. Okay, so we got the contractors that come this way. And you've got one that comes pretty much down the whole side. Let's take a look at... This is good here. Okay. I think his wrists are way too big. So let's just smooth these down. There we go. That's starting to feel a little bit better. Yes. I am actually recording this right now, and I'll put it up on my YouTube later. Right, okay, so we've got like this larger curve up here, and then a smaller curve down here, right? Alright, so let's map out the back really quickly, and then let's move forward. Let's continue to move forward. Alright, the back. Back is fun. The back is fun. Oh my god, the back is fun. Alright, I should probably save this. Let's save it. What the hell? Hey, Ambient, thank you much for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Anatomy lesson 1. Okay, cool. Alright, so the back, I usually start with the trapezius muscle. Trapezius muscle is one of the most fun muscles in the back. Okay, so this is your trapezius here. This is your latissimus dorsi that come down here, this way. Alright, this is your teres major. This is your teres minor, and this is your sacrospinalis here. All right, so those are the major ones that we'll talk about. And then, of course, the spine of the scapula. Very, very important for mapping out the back muscles. Any more back muscles? Yeah, we'll talk about this one here. Yeah, we're not going to worry about the smaller ones underneath. Okay, so the trapezius muscles start at the base of the skull and go down to almost the middle of the back, in between like the butt crack and the top of the neck. You're almost right in the middle. Right, so usually I'll go in and just create that little landmark. So base of the skull. Butt crack is probably right about down there, so we're sitting maybe right about there. And let's take a look, because you don't really usually see the bottom of the scapula. Most of the time you just see the spine of the scapula here. So let's get rid of some of that. Let's put in the spine of the scapula here. Okay. and then there's your. Okay, so it's really, really interesting. The trapezius muscle is really, really interesting. So take a look at the pattern of the muscles, right? So down here at the in the middle of your back, you're coming almost 45-degree angles, right? And as you move up, also so you're connecting to the spine of the scapula here. So this all connects to the spine of the scapula, right? And then as you get towards the lower neck, it's actually almost parallel, right? And then it literally turns all this corner all the way up until it's connecting to the back of your neck and to the end of the scapula spine, right? So it's crazy. Like it does this whole like almost 90-degree turn in the movement of the striations of the muscle. That's probably why it's one of my favorite. Right, so I'm just gonna come in here. Right, so I know where this is. Actually, you know what? It probably should be down a little bit more, like this. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna come in here, and then just literally do that same thing, all the way up. Hey, Nathan Ram, what's up, buddy? Hey, if you guys aren't following Nathan, check out his stream. He does some pretty cool stuff, 3D character game models. He's been doing a lot of Substance Designer and stuff lately. So if you get a chance, check out Nathan Ram. Right? Yeah. Okay, so that's the trapezius muscle, right? It comes down like this and does this almost 90-degree turn all the way down, right? And it focuses right around this the scapula, the spine of the scapula. Cool, man. Yeah, man. We're about halfway through so far. Okay, so then from there, I usually will map out the latissimus dorsi, which are your big wings. All right, let's take a look at those. So the lats will come underneath, will connect to the spine underneath the trapezius. We'll literally almost do a straight across. Basically what this does is it actually goes up and connects, I think it connects to the inside of your humerus, I believe. Because it helps you move your shoulder, right? So I think it connects to the inside of your humerus, your arm muscle, your arm bone, on the inside. So it kind of ducks up underneath and makes part of your armpit, basically. And then it comes down and connects to the sacrospinalis. So actually, usually I put in the sacrospinalis first, and that's basically starts at the end of your trapezius and bifurcates down to your butt crack here, right? This is basically tendons, basically. All right, so I actually think this needs to come down some. Okay, sacrospinalis comes down here, like this, basically. All right, so now that I have that mapped in, I can actually put in the the lats now. All right, so the lats come underneath the trapezius here, wrap around underneath and into the underarm, the armpit area. All right, and this is why I waited to do the serratus muscles here, because it's really dependent on what the lats are doing, right? So let's take a look at the inside, what the inside or the outside of the lats are doing. Right, so it makes like this nice almost triangle shape. Right, so this right here is usually what you see on people, like their wings, you know, like when you work out a lot, like you got, you know, like that's what you see is the latissimus dorsi here. and it connects down almost in. So if you look at this landmark here, it's about a quarter of the way across, right? You got the yeah, the bent over rows, man. Lat pull downs. Oh yeah, those are good. So you got the side muscle, and then they connect down and usually end right about in between the middle of the spine and the silhouette here. All right, so usually right about something like that. Right, so now you've got like this nice big sweeping shape that comes like that. Right, there's your lats. Okay, so now we have two other smaller muscles that fill in this gap, which is the teres major and the teres minor. So that's these two muscles here. Basically, what you're looking at is, let's take a look at, I think he has a good, this one is pretty good here. Right, so underneath, basically it lives underneath the lat and the trapezius here, but you'll see it because you have this area in between your deltoid, your tricep, your lats, and your trapezius, where kind of nothing else is. So these muscles live right on the rest of the scapula, basically, right? So here's the spine of the scapula where the trapezius comes and connects to all of that fun stuff, like this, right? And then the teres major usually will fill in the rest of the majority of the scapula here, and then the teres minor will be this little piece here, right? So that's what you see. Basically, that's what you see in like this one here, right? So you'll see this volume for the trapezius. You'll see this little guy, and then like a little divot, and then you'll see the teres minor down here. So that's what makes up the overall form of the back. Right, so you've got the teres major that comes here, like this, and then the teres minor that comes like this. Right? That's the majority of your back muscles. Hey, Satoshi, what's up, buddy? Taco! What's going on, man? Taco Wednesday is another awesome character artist, Satoshi. I think I was saying your name right. Arakawa, I think that's how you say your last name. But yeah, check him out on Twitch. He also does just started doing some Twitch streams. So if you're not following him, definitely check him out. He usually does later nights. Alright, so now what I'll do is I'll come in and start actually giving some volume to this. I usually will just kind of really lightly smooth things out so I can still tell where the volumes are. And if that's too much, if you hold down Shift and press spacebar, that actually is you're changing your values for your smooth brush. And it can just turn the intensity down on my smooth brush, which means that now when I go and I smooth, it won't do as hard of smoothing. Ah, cool, man. I'm glad I got the pronunciation right, man. I was working on that for Milan Nikolic. I used to call him Milan Nikolic, but it's actually Milan Nikolic. I like getting the pronunciation correctly. So I'll just usually go through and create just like a quick, really light smooth over everything, and that will give me my basic forms. Look at that. This is ugly up here. Don't worry about that. We'll fix that. Alright, so now I want to go in and just do some overall proportion movement. Alright, so we'll bring the shoulders out a little bit more. The clavicle needs to come down a little bit. Shoulders definitely need to come out. Usually bring the lats out just a little bit more, and it'll bring the waist in a little bit. It'll give that nice triangle feel. I want to make sure that my silhouette is good. I really don't like all this stuff right here. So now that I know, and you can kind of do it however you'd like to on your own particular one, but now that I know where those are going to be, I usually will just kind of smooth everything out and go in and actually sculpt that area a little bit better. And I usually will, when I'm sculpting like this, just really quickly, I'll go in the lines of the way that the muscle striations go, right? It just helps it become a little bit more organic. Right, we got the rib cage that comes here, the sternum. Get a little inset here, usually in between the abs and the what's the side muscle called again? Phil, what's the side muscle called again? This one. I always forget the name of that muscle. Why do I always forget it? Obliques! Yes, the obliques. Yeah. That's it. I always forget those. Love muffins. Yeah. Muffin tops, yep. Alright, and then so you got your basic overall ab shape will be like this, right? And then here's something that usually people don't see, is that your abs usually are like you see this a lot on women, right? Where the abs just aren't straight, right? They're like a little bit out more here, and they kind of duck in a little bit about halfway through, and then right where the navel is, right, usually will come out just a little bit, right? So you got this like nice S shape to the profile of the abs, even when you have somebody with totally ripped abs. You still have that a little bit of that, like not quite straight, but close. Looks obliquey. Why gotta be all obliquey on me? Turn. Jeez. Alright, let's put in the navel again. Right about there. And then again, remember that it's about, let's take a look at our heads, actually. Right? No, that's about right. Yeah? It's about 3 heads down is where the navel is. Right? So the navel, the sternum, and the chin. Right? So we're getting there. We're getting there. Now comes the fun part, where we up-res this a little bit, and we start adding in some all the form. Right, now that we have everything mapped out and feeling good, muscles are close to their correct locations with the right sizes. Now I'll go in and I'll actually turn this up to maybe, let's do 64 just to see. I try to keep it as low resolution as possible until I'm ready. Like, I do everything I can in that resolution, and then when I really can't do anything else, that's when I'll up the resolution, because it just becomes much easier to kind of push around bigger shapes when things are less resolution. Alright, so just doubled basically, and that's going to get me pretty far. The transverse abdominis, which gives you the V. I'm not sure which part you're referring to. Are you referring to this part? I think that's what you may be referring to. Okay, so once I do that, again, I'll go through and just do one more really quick overall smooth, so you kind of get rid of all this faceting here. And I want to make sure that my Z intensities on my smooth brush is down a ways. So instead of just holding spacebar and bringing this up and getting your regular brush. If you hold down Shift and then spacebar, it'll bring up your smoothing brush, right? So I'm gonna take my Z intensity down to about there, and then I'll just give like an overall, just a quick, light, smooth. You get rid of that faceting, right? And now I've got a really nice base with all my muscles in the right locations, and then now I can start building up form and stuff. There's a... Oh, dude, your ZBrush crashed? Hey, you're the one that was saying save. Milky. Oh, never mind, it's back. Okay. Runs from the abs over the hip. The abs over the hip. Okay. So we definitely got to fix the arms. The arms are a little whack right now. So overall proportions, this is usually where I start changing. Hey, man, thanks Satoshi, man. Hey, thanks for dropping by too, man. Much appreciated. Okay, so let's talk about silhouette real quick while we're doing this, right? So I always want to be looking at silhouette. So in this particular case, yeah, let's look at the arms. So if you look at the shape of the upper arm, you actually you can see the tricep come out. Yeah, man. Thank you very much for dropping by, man. Good to have you here. Well, I swear one of these times I'm actually gonna make your stream, dude. My work is in production right now, so like I'm actually at work like 10 to 12 hours a day, and then I try to sleep every other time, all the other times. So one of these days, man, I'm gonna make it to one of your streams, Taco. Monsoon, thank you very much for the follow, man. Much appreciated. Okay, so the overall silhouette, right? So we can actually see the tricep from the front, right? And again, like you're looking at this like nice alternating curves in the silhouette, right? You've got this curve here, and then this nice long curve here, right? The obliques are those 4 bars under the chest. Thought it was going crazy. You can see the lat poking out from behind it. Yep. Okay, right, so you got like this alternating curve, right? And if you actually look at it, the movement of this curve actually goes in line with the bicep, right? So it actually, if this line continues, it goes down into the bicep and into almost into the forearm like that. Right, so this is usually a lot skinnier. Let's just pull this down. This is usually a lot skinnier. Yeah, the serratus. Yeah, these little guys that come in here. Basically like that. Those are the serratus muscles. And basically those ones will be will connect down into your rib cage. Right? And that's why you have like the small little ones. Yep, exactly. And then the obliques as you move down. Okay. So the overall thickness is a little bit too much on the arms. So I'm going to bring this back. That feels a little bit better. Again, we're not making a huge bodybuilding guy. All right, just just doing some overall proportions here. Okay. So the bicep comes down like this. So usually at this point, I start bulking out the actual volume of them, but when of all the muscles. But I want to make sure that I do it in the line of the actual muscle fibers, right? Which helps in all the believability, and it helps reinforce your anatomy knowledge, right? So that comes down here like this, right? We've got the deltoid that comes down here like such. So we got three heads to the deltoid, right? We've got the front, or the, I guess you call it the anterior head, the posterior head that comes back here like this, and the, I guess you call it the lateral, the median. Right, so it's basically broken down into these three major, because it's a bunch of small little muscles basically, right? Not quite like the forearm, but right. So you have the anterior will connect to the clavicle, right? And it comes down and actually connects down into the humerus, which is the arm bone, right? And then you've got the middle one that comes down like this. And if you look closely, the insertion point of the deltoid into the humerus is actually like sweeping forward a little bit, right? It actually comes in almost like this. All right, and then your brachius muscle, you actually have a small muscle group in between your triceps and your biceps, like this. Right, and then you have your extensors that come in here. Oh yeah, man, Jacob's pretty good, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, him and I are both going to be taking the Adam Scott course here coming up pretty quick. That'll be a lot of fun. All right. Then let's work on the tricep here. All right, and then usually. Yep. Okay, so we'll have one of the triceps usually will come in just like this. Alright, and then we have another one that comes this way. Right, and then it literally comes down into like this more tendon. Like this, and then we'll come up this way. Right, and then it literally flares out like this basically. Right, so you've got the third head of the tricep that comes in here, and then it goes down into almost more tendinous area like that, right? And then we've got the ulna here. All right, so let's make sure that when we're looking at this, we don't see the brachius, we actually see the tricep. All right, so let's make sure we got that. And the tricep actually is a little bit bigger. Maybe a little too much. And again, this usually doesn't look good until the very end. So if you're looking at your model and you're going, oh my god, like what the hell am I doing? Just give it time. Give it time. Right. This is and again, this is more of an exercise of knowledge, not necessarily an exercise of, hey, I'm going to make the most beautiful anatomy sculpt in the world. It's just exercise. If it doesn't come out exactly perfect, it's all about what you learn, right? Alright, let's look at the pectorals. So we've got this coming in like this. Alright, so this comes and connects underneath the arm. Like that. And then you've got the rest of the muscles connecting to the sternum. And it's usually like this nice little triangle of no shape here. Alright, and then this all connects to your clavicle and comes down almost parallel with the deltoid here. Right? Okay. There we go. Hey, the little one is up. Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, we'll take a excuse me, quick 2-minute break while I say hi to the daughter. Come here, bud. You want to say hi to everybody? Hi. Hi. Oh, hi. Look at what Daddy's working on. Daddy's working on some anatomy studies. Yeah. Is that pretty cool? Oh, Dad, that's pretty cool. Dad, what's your favorite muscle? Oh, well, that would be the sacrospinalis. Duh. Look. Oh, what is that? Hello, Cadence. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? Hello? Yes. Oh, yes. You're looking really cute in those pajamas this morning. Oh, yeah. Did you sleep good last night? Did you? Cadence? Oh, what's that over there? Oh, what's that? Oh, what is that over there? Oh, what? Oh, what's that there? Oh, what? What's that down there? What's that? Wow! Ah! Dad, what is that guy looking at? I don't even. Let me see what he's looking at. Here, you want to hold the stylus? Yeah. Here, you want to put that on there? Oh, no, don't throw it on there. Gosh. All right, we'll pick that up later. Okay. Hi. Can you say hi to everybody? Say hi, everyone. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah. One of these days I'll be teaching you this stuff. Right? I really hope you didn't break my stylus. That would be kind of a damper on the morning. Yeah. What do you think? Alright. Love you, buddy. Thank you. Love you. Can you say bye to everybody? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Can you wave? Bye-bye. 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 Alright, love you, buddy. I love you too. Alright. Yeah, the ultimate anatomy model. Brendan made his own human. Right? Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I think it may have actually broke. Uh-oh. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna pull up my trusty little nib tool. Hold tight, guys. Sorry. Uh-oh. I literally think it may have broke. Scalpel. Suction. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think it literally did break. It literally like shoved the nib all the way into the pen. Trigger warnings. Well, let's see if I can still use it for now. Yeah, I can still use it. Well, crap, I have to take a look at that later. Yeah, the stylus got like shoved, the nib got like shoved all the way into the stylus. Great. Yeah, I may have to, Phil. We'll see. All right, let's start moving on this. We're quickly running out of time. 7:45. All right. Super ultra double fast. Okay. Yeah, this is the fun part, anyways. All right, so let's bulk in some abs here. Okay. Nah, this should get me through most of the rest of the time here. Probably will just need it. All right. So one of the things is that if you look at this, this is completely wrong. All right. Oh wait, there's the nib. Wait a minute. Sorry guys. Hold on. This is why you can't have nice things. Aha! Got it. See if we can just grab another one here real quick. Alright, that should work fine. So you always want to take a look at other angles of your sculpt. Make sure that everything's kind of looking right. In this particular case, the pecs are like horrible. Can you sculpt with the mouse? Yeah, no, definitely not. You can put me in the amateur category for that one. Definitely can't be sculpting with a mouse. Alright, let's smooth all this out. So basically what happens is the pec will fall underneath the deltoid here. Right, and that's where you have like this nice little divot here in between the the clavicle and the let's just do like a soft polish here. Yeah, my forms are all messed up here. So the bulk of the form of the pec is usually here. All right, and then we'll flatten out and go and then duck underneath the deltoid. All right, so you always want to make sure that the form looks right. Let me turn my Z intensity back up a little bit. Yeah, this model's all over the place right now. You have to excuse me, guys. Okay. Let's duck this in a little bit in here. They get the really good separation between. Yeah, sculpting with a mouse is definitely impossible. Yeah, I should probably get a backup stylus. I've had this this one for shit, I don't know, a while now. I don't even remember when I got it. Probably should have a backup just in case. I'm definitely gonna need to get a new one though. because it's pretty much broken. Some incredible man titties. So yeah, that's the thing is when you're sculpting the pecs, you make sure that they're, you know, they only come out just a touch, and usually they're a little bit more flat, right? A little more flat on the bottom. All right, you've got this nice little triangle shape here, and then more flat on the bottom. Like literally as soon as you do this, it looks like a boobs. All right. So again, there's usually a form definition here. All right, let's talk about the serratus here. There's usually a form definition, like a line, right? So you've got this is basically your rib cage. There's really not a whole lot of form-defining muscle on top of the rib cage. So this in here, the form of this in here, man, my stylus is totally whacked right now. Sorry, guys. The form of this is usually really based on what your rib cage looks like. All right, and then you've got your serratus muscles. The bulk of it comes like this, right? Well, let's take a look at our reference, as always, right? So that's what this part is here, right? So this part is literally just thin, very, very thin muscles that lay over the top of your rib cage and just connect down into your abdomens here. Abdomens? Your abs. Abdominals. Right, so usually you have a form break that comes in there. Alright, usually I like just getting the overall form first. Alright, again, your latissimus dorsi comes in like this. Right? That usually will define the back side of the of the serratus here. Let's just pull this back in. Excuse me. Excuse me. Alright, so your lats come in like this. Let's make sure that these are looking correct. Alright, come like that. Again, going with the muscle grain. Alright, then that comes in here. The Warlord, thanks buddy for the follow, man. I really appreciate it. Alright, so now we got this nice separation between the lats back there and where the serratus muscle. Hey Nathan, thank you very much for the follow, man. About time, buddy. Jeez. God. I know, right? Oh, thanks, Warlord. Appreciate it, man. Okay, so let's map out. Right, so we've got these small little, like you probably hardly ever see these muscles that come in this way, but I like just knowing that they're there. With a dead stylus, yep. Exactly. With a dead stylus. My stylus is done. Shit. Okay, so let's look at specifically how the serratus muscles work. See if we got a good... yeah, this one here. This one's really good. But let's also... No, not that one. This one. Okay, we gotta start wrapping this up. Okay. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful right there? This is perfect. Okay, so now I'm literally just gonna map this, right? This is what having good reference does for you. Let's just do it this way. Okay. Alright, so we got the latissimus dorsi that comes in here like this. Alright, we've got these muscles that are coming in this way. Like this, right? So you have usually about 3 you'll only see. You have more of these, but they duck in underneath the pec that you definitely won't see. So usually what I do is I'll come in and I'll map these first, just the movement of these and the angle of the muscle fibers, right? And then I'll come in and just do oh, dead stylus, how I hate you right now. Right, maybe 1, 2. And then a small one. Just like that. Alright, turn. Oh man. Yes, I don't like how those are looking. Alright. I usually do these a couple of times. Right, maybe I'll just block it in real quick to see what I like. So the angle of these usually goes like in a spraying out pattern, right? So you have one that comes like this, one that comes like this, and then one that comes down like that. Usually takes me a couple of tries to get them just right. Oh, my stylus. Come on. We're almost done, man. Hang in there. You're gonna make it, bro. You're gonna make it. So sometimes if I'm like having an issue with a small little part, I'll just come back to it later. Alright? Alright, and let's do like an overall. Alright, and we'll just map it out for now. Alright. Yes, yeah. To do this stuff, like, you really need reference. Really need reference. Let's pull this in a little bit. Yeah, well, I'll make it, man. It's okay. The finish line is close. Okay? So that's basically the front, right? And now I just want to focus on the back a little bit before we start wrapping up here. And again, like, every time doesn't have to look perfect, right? Like, obviously, like, you know, you're gonna have to put in more time. You have to put in more tries. Like, you know, this is all live work, so you know you're kind of like, you know, under the gun a little bit to make things look good. So sometimes they do. Sometimes you just got to start over. You know what I mean? All right, so let's do. Oops, wrong way. Let's do the traps real quick. Come on, stylus. Oh man, it's on his last leg, man. It's like, I don't want to. No. Okay, so like that, and then like you usually have like a little area in here. Yes. Right, you have like this little triangular area in here. that like the spine peeks out just a touch. There, not a lot, just a touch. Oh man, fuck you, stylus. Right in the face. Okay, right, and then you got your teres major in here, like that. Oh man, look how lumpy that is. So beautiful. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and 7. Oh, damn commercials. Yep, commercials happen, man. Alright, let's pull this in a little bit. Okay. Let's give it some smooths. Hit that tricep again real quick. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Ninja. It's just a study, you know. I've definitely done much better, and I think I can do much better. My stylus broke a couple minutes ago, so it's a little bit lumpy right now. I may have to do like another session and do like another recording, because man, this is. I mean, actually, you know, whatever. You just got to make do with what you got, right? Okay. Okay, let's come down here. A bit more like that. Hey, Ninja, thanks for the follow, buddy. Really appreciate it, man. There we go. Yep, yep, make lemonade. Or lumpy muscles. Either way. Either one will do just fine. Okay, oh, I forgot about the neck. Okay, let's talk about the neck real quick, right? So you've got the sternocleidomastoid. I always get that one wrong. All right, comes up behind the ear. Right, here's the ear. All right, comes behind the ear, comes down and connects to the clavicle here. Right, and then you've got the rest of your neck. It comes in down like this. Right, and what you're seeing for the shoulders is really the trapezius in the back, right? And so the trapezius comes down like that, right? And your scapula spine is coming in here like that. Oh, come on, stylus. Yeah, we could do a part 2. It's up to you guys if you feel like you want to. Do you want to know more? Do you want to do another session? Do you want to keep doing them? Yes. All right. So, right, the trapezius basically comes up and makes the definition of your shoulders. Right. So depending on how much you work out your trapezius, right, some may be bigger, some may be much smaller. Right. So really quickly before we wrap this up, I want to show you how you can start making, once you know all this stuff, you can start making like different types of creatures and different types of alternate versions of this, right? Yeah, deadlifts. Okay. And then you have like some more like smaller, oh my god, my stylus is dead. Smaller little muscles that come in throughout the neck that we won't get into at this point. All right. So you always want to be taking a look at your profile, your silhouette. All right. So let's take a look at the back silhouette. So after I go in and like bulk up a lot of these muscles and stuff, I'll make sure that my silhouette still looks okay, because you never know what you're going to be doing when you're sculpting, right? So this needs to come back in more in here. Oh, my stylus. Alright. So that needs to come in more. We got to retain this nice S curve. And I think this all needs to come down a little bit more. Something like that. Alright. I'm going to take a look at my silhouette here. I think my deltoids are too long. So I'm going to bring those back up. And I'll bring that out just a little bit further. What is all this math stuff you guys are doing in the chat? Got me all confused. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. I want to make sure that that looks good. So almost, you can almost see. No, I haven't planned on doing. I haven't planned on doing hard surface stuff yet. My specialty is a little bit more of anatomy, so I may get into some. Cause I'm starting to do some more work with the Z modeler brush, and it's actually pretty dope. So maybe I'll start doing some of that stuff at a later time. But right now I'm going to focus on mostly just human anatomy, because that's what I sort of know the most of. Oh, you broke chat. That's what it was. Okay. So I think that the lats probably need to come down a little bit more here. All right, and this is like once I start getting like all of this the volume done, start bulking out the actual muscles. That's when I do a little bit more of like profile adjustment and stuff. I think this needs to come up. There we go. Alright, well, we're pretty close to a finished torso. So, what, do you guys have any questions before we start wrapping this dude up? I think this is about as far as I want to take him. I think we learned a lot about how to block in the anatomy, how to get some of the volumes going, proportions, and all that stuff. So I'm feeling fairly decent about where we're at. I mean, I would definitely do this guy again. A lot of times when I'm doing sculpts like this or practices, I'll do one sculpt and really focus on like the overall anatomy and where things lie, and then I'll do it again, right? Because it's always easier and quicker to do it a second or third time, right? And then I'll focus on I'll focus less on the technical side and focus more on like the actual the way that it looks. You know what I mean? So I'll end up doing this type of thing at least a couple of times, right? Every time it gets a little bit faster, and the more technical stuff like falls more towards the back of your mind and more towards you know, you're actually creating something that looks better, right? How long does it? So if I was doing this without the teaching side of it, it would probably take me about a half hour to do, something like this. So maybe if you sit down for like an hour and a half or two, like you can whip out probably 2 or 3 of these. All right, and then the more you do it, the quicker you get, the better they look, and the less technical that you have to focus on, the more you do it, right? Yeah. Cool, man. All right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we're pretty close to being done for the day. I would love to do more of these, and I think that it would be beneficial to a lot of people. So it definitely helps to see somebody do like more technical stuff for sculpting in ZBrush. So we will do more of these. We'll definitely do more of these. Cool. All right. Yeah, definitely. When's the next one again? Soon, man. I really want to try to get this the Ham character done. So this dude I'm actually working on. I really want to try to get this guy done very soon. At least to a point where I can have some really good high-res images of him. So I really want to do that. Total Biocap Collapse. What's up, man? Thank you for the follow. So I want to get this guy done, and then I've got a couple of other like dual streams with some special guests that I mentioned last stream. I want to get those done, and then once that's calmed down a little bit, we'll definitely get back to some more anatomy stuff for damn sure. Because I can do this stuff all day. I love it. Love it. Once I get my stylus fixed, that is. So yeah, that's the plan. So if you guys would like, for those of you that were following along, you're more than welcome to upload a screenshot or even a ZTL file to the Facebook event page, and I can, if there's not too many of you, I can do some sculpt overs or some quick pointers and give you some feedback on what you've done. So feel free to upload some images and stuff to the Facebook event page. Marcelo, if you can throw the Facebook event page into the chat, would be awesome. Dope. So yeah, I can give you guys some feedback and stuff on yours. Cool. And also, I'm going to be putting this up on YouTube, so if you want to also upload some Sopax, thank you very much for the follow, man. If you also want to upload to the comment section in the YouTube, I'll also be taking a look at that and keeping an eye on it. Alright guys, I think that's it for me. Thank you very much for everyone that was hanging out. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys learned a lot, right? I hope you guys had fun, but most of all, I hope you were inspired to go make your own trapezius and sacrospinalis and teres minor and teres majors and serratuses. Yeah, man. Alright guys, thank you very much. I will be putting up my next schedule for next week, probably within the next couple of days. So I will see you next time. Alright guys, take it easy. Once again, thanks again Marcelo for all the help. Alright guys, later. Bye. Bye. Bye.